The mic is hot, the takes are real, talent is here. Welcome to Said What I Said. From Hollywood to your headphones, she's bold, she's raw, she's talent. And this is Said What I Said.
Said What I Said with Tallinn.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Said What I Said with Tallinn. I'm so excited because we have a very special guest. We have Miss Tati McQuay. And guys, I have known her for many, many years. And she is a dancer, content creator, actor, you name it. She's done it ever since she was a little girl. And today we're going to be diving into all of the things that she's done, all of her accomplishments. So let's get into it. Everyone, please welcome Miss Tatiana McQuay.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for that intro. That was so sweet.
Of course. I'm so excited to have you. Tati, you and I go way back. I don't even think people understand this. Mm-hmm. We've known each other since we were practically under the age of 10.
Yeah.
I would say. Yeah. And now you're 22.
Now we're grown up.
I'm 23. That's
oh my gosh.
So long.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about everything from you came from Canada out here to LA. So we're going to talk about all those things. So let's get into it. So let's start at the beginning, growing up in Canada, and your family's moved from California at 7. Did you move here at 7?
Yep.
And you were dancing since you were a toddler. So tell me a little bit about that time and what's your first initial memory of dance?
Yeah, of course. Oh my gosh. Wow. So I did come from Kitchener, Ontario, which is a city in Canada. Honestly, all I really remember back home is competition dancing.
Yeah.
I started off, my mom put me in classes at 2.
Oh my gosh.
And the first really memorable moment for me was I was 2 years old. Okay, 2, probably just starting to talk, everything, but I was in dance. And you had to be 3 to do hip hop. For some reason, that's just how the studio was.
Yeah.
And my mom walked in one day, mind you, my birthday's in it's in August.
Yeah.
So let's say it was probably December, nowhere near my birthday. My mom walked into the studio and the whole studio was singing happy birthday to me. Oh. And my mom was she's like, what in the world? It's not even near her birthday. Why is everyone singing happy birthday to her? So I walk out, little me walks out of the studio, and I'm like, Mom, shh. I told them it was my birthday, so they think I'm 3 years old, so I could start the hip hop class.
Oh my God.
So my dance teachers now know, obviously, that I pretty much lied, but I was 2, so it was fine. They let me get away with it. Yeah. They realized later, but they put me in the class because they told my mom, they were like, listen, this girl is dedicated. She wants to do hip hop so badly, so we're going to let her. And then I did. And they kept telling my mom, you need to take her out to LA. You need to. And my mom was like, why would we go to LA? But sure. And that's where life ended up taking us. And we moved here. And that's basically how it all started.
Yeah. So would you say your family was just very supportive of this dance career that you wanted to pursue? So that kind of sparked the initial move out here to LA, or was there other reasons too?
No, 100%. I mean, we honestly didn't even come out here for me or my dance.
Okay.
We came out here because my parents did long distance. And
oh, no way.
Yeah. My dad already lived here and he was a professional bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And my mom also was a fitness model, but back in Canada.
Okay.
So they did the long distance until it was about time for us to live together as a family. My first younger brother was coming. So we just decided to make the long move and leave our lives back in Canada behind. But we still have our family there. And Canada's always going to be home for me. That's where my heart is. But obviously once I came out to LA, started dancing here, it was this was definitely the place for us to be.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Thank
I mean,
you.
when you moved out here, what was the dance studio life? Was it different compared to back home in Canada?
So different. I mean, here, it's a whole different type of competitive world.
For sure.
It's not just, we're doing a competition back home in Canada. It was okay, yes, we did dance competitions. You had the costumes, the makeup, you went and you performed. But here it was not only that, and obviously I hate like comparing this, but you come to a world where like everyone is incredible.
100%.
So it's not just like, yeah, you're the best one in the class or in the room, but here it was like, there are other kids not even just as good as you, but better.
Yeah.
So that became a whole different type of like competitive world, I guess you could say.
For sure.
And just more like professionalism, because once you come to LA, it's like there's so many more opportunities. And that's what I always say when people ask if I would go back to Canada. It's like, I love Canada. I love living there, but the place for opportunities is definitely here in LA.
Absolutely. And I mean, you've accomplished so much, like from a young age. Like you danced on Justin Bieber's tour. You appeared in commercials for Disney, Toyota, Macy's, McDonald's, and you were even on Just Dance Kids on We. I think we were, okay, I did that too.
Right?
So like, were we ever like filming on the same day?
I don't know, because they like kind of made that like separate, right?
Separate.
But I remember you doing it too, so maybe we saw each other along the way.
Maybe, because they were filming so many different segments like in the same day, which was so crazy. Like that whole thing is so crazy to me. Like I never understood the process of like how they filmed Just Dance Kids, because like we all grew up doing Just Dance on the Wii, and so I was like, how were they like gonna film this? Puts you in like a tiny little like box. You can't move outside of that box, which was so crazy to me. And like I think I was the lead for my dance as well. And so I was like, oh my God. I was like, this is a lot of pressure, because the people back home who are buying this game are literally gonna be hitting every single move that I do.
You have to be like so specific with everything.
So specific.
So crazy. And it's so crazy to think about how like we were so young doing those things.
Yeah.
So we almost didn't like, I don't know if you feel the same way, but overthink the way we do at this age. Now it's like, oh my gosh, if I was doing that, I would overthink every little thing.
Oh yeah. 100%.
But we were young and just having fun with it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you remember the audition process for Just Dance, but I remember going in and it was like thousands of kids. And they're like, oh, you know, like we're going to pick like 10, 12, whatever kids for that. And I just like remember just like the pressure, like being in there, because I wanted that audition, like that job so bad. I'm like, just say like you're on Just Dance is like so iconic.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Like, but like, what do you remember about like all those like crazy like audition processes that we went through?
I honestly like, I remember the best parts. Like the nerves and everything kind of just like flew over my head. And like I said, because we were so young. Yeah. Like we were never overthinking. Like my mom always says, if you were to do that process now that you're older and the way I overthink, it would be so different, because I'm so hard on myself now that I'm older. Yeah. I overthink things. And back then I was like, oh, I'm a little girl. I'll just do whatever. I'll perform in front of whoever. Yeah. And I think just having like us, like each other, like having friends, it made it more fun, because it was like I wasn't going there for like the competitive aspect and like
we would
wanting
like
something so badly,
just see each other, right? Yeah. Just like hang out for the day or whatever.
And I remember just thinking like on the way there, I was like, who will I see this time? Like, but now I would be thinking like, oh my gosh, I need this job. I need to get this. I need to do this. Yeah. But it was so fun, and it's crazy because we lived in a time where like things may never be that way again. So it's so special that we got to live in that time of the dance world.
100%. And I want to talk about you dancing for Justin Bieber, because that's also like another iconic thing to say. So like, were you like nervous? Like, what was that whole experience like? Like, talk me through that whole thing.
That was one of the most surreal moments, because of course, me being from Canada and him being Canadian. I mean, I've always been like a diehard believer, like loved Justin Bieber, still do to this day. Like that still never went away. But he's actually from the city, literally right next to the city I grew up in. Yes. Oh so Kitchener and Stratford are like sister cities right next to each other. So that was just insane to be like a little Canadian girl that once just used to sing Justin Bieber songs in the car and like have this dream of going to Hollywood. Like it literally used to be Hollywood to me. Yes. And now it's like, this is home to me, and to be able to perform and just do what I love. it's so weird to think, but like that should have been one of the most nerve-wracking moments, and it just wasn't. Like I got on that stage, there's like thousands of people in the crowd, and like the lights, first of all, people don't understand this, but you don't see a single person, if I'm being quite honest. Like
it's just like all pitch dark.
Right, it's pitch dark. Like I'm sure the artists have gotten to the point where like they see through that and they see people and they see the people are underneath them. But when you have that one moment up there, it's like, it's just like you in this room dancing, doing what you love, and just looking over and seeing my favorite artist in the world on stage with me was like, it's surreal, and it feels like a real life movie.
For sure. Did you guys like ever have to do like a rehearsal like with him too? Like before?
We actually didn't rehearse with him.
Oh, okay.
We rehearsed just on our own. It was like a really quick process because each city, they had like different kids, and it wasn't even like a long audition process. It was like submit a tape. So we, as much as I can remember, we practiced like a few times on the stage just to know like formations, where we were going to be.
Right.
And even the routine we had learned over video for the audition.
Okay,
so we already kind of just like knew it, ran it a few times, and then it was like, okay, showtime.
Yeah.
They gave us our cue, the concert was happening, and we were right there in the pit.
Oh my
So it was like,
God.
not only did I get to perform, but I had like the best tickets
in the house.
ever.
Yeah.
So that was super cool, and my mom was down there with me, so like,
Oh, that's
if there was one person I saw in the audience, and it was her, and like that was
Yeah.
special.
For sure. And did you guys meet him too, or?
So this happened to me, by the way, guys. Being like the biggest believer ever, of course, that just happened to be the show. It was like the last LA show where he had canceled his meet and greets. Due to like things happening, I believe. I don't even remember the specifics, but he canceled the meet and greet. But honestly, on stage felt more real than just doing like a meet and greet, which like I could do any other time. But it's like, what other times is Justin going to introduce you? And like, he met me, like, and obviously I know who he is. So it was like, yeah, I guess you could say we did meet.
Yeah, that's so awesome. And I mean, also just like being in that dance industry, like I don't think a lot of people understand like the dance world was like its own type of industry, like where you had so much pressure and, you know, trying to hit certain goals and like work with certain choreographers, you know, to kind of like almost help you move up in the next step to like work on certain projects and whatnot. And at the time when we were young, I'm a Beast was created. And that was one of the like biggest dance crews that probably existed at our time. Yeah. And when that came about, I mean, every kid wanted to be a part of it, you know? And I don't know, did you go through the actual like audition like process like for, or how were you kind of like recruited like into everything?
Yeah. So, I mean, Wildebeest was my very first like real mentor in the dance world. I took like his first class ever at The Rage, which is where I was doing competitions at, and first training when I first moved out here. And he had came and like, I think he taught like a pop-up class. Okay. I took it. I believe I was like, I wasn't even the age. There was like an age limit for it. I think it was like 16 and up or something. Yeah. Just because it was like hip hop. I think it was just an advanced class. Okay. But at the time, you know, my dance instructors were like, you can join this class. Like you're good. You're you know, you already dance like you're a 16-year-old adult. Like go in the class. And I was like, okay. Yeah. Of course, my mom was there with me. She was always with me, never left my side. And Will had pulled me out for a solo. And I remember him just like telling my mom after, like, she's incredible. Like, you have to get her to like Millennium. And my mom was like, what is Millennium? Yeah. Like, we had no idea what this stuff was. And we met him. And from that day forward, we got really close. Yeah. And he was like, honestly, like not only my biggest inspiration, but he felt like someone that was like a part of my family, someone that like looked after me. And as well as like my mom. Like my mom was always there, always involved. And he at that point was like, okay, you need to start taking it to the next level. Let's go to Millennium. Let's go to other places. And I kind of just like, you know, stayed. My mom would take me to classes at Millennium, would take me to all his other classes away from The Rage. Yeah. And that's when he started to form like a little, it it was the beginning of Little Beast.
Right. Yeah.
And he like was telling us that he was going to get I'm a Beast together. And I think from there, it was kind of just that process of we kind of already had this little group of dancers formed already.
Yeah.
And then he was like, listen, this is like the base of it.
Right.
And we're going to add more people.
Yeah.
So I believe I was definitely there throughout the audition process, but at that point it was already like a family and we already knew like who was already the base of the group.
Right.
And then I really just watched it like grow and like met more people along the way and like had my own friends come into it.
Yeah.
And that was just fun. I think that's a time of my life that no one can ever take away from me.
For sure.
And that changed my perspective on everything, because as competitive as this dance world was and how hard it was on us at such a young age, Will, more than anyone, made it feel like a family.
Yeah.
And he made it feel like he just reminded me that I danced because I loved it. And like I had people around me that inspired me, and it was no longer, it didn't feel like a competition. Even if we were going up against each other at auditions, we were reminded that we were a family. So it was like I was still proud of the other person getting it.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
that is special. That is so special.
So true. And would you say like when, because obviously I'm a Beast was getting so much attention like over social media as well, and like people were going crazy like trying to figure out, oh my God, who are all the dancers that are a part of this and everything. Do you feel like your social media kind of like started like from that kind of moment?
Yeah, no, definitely. So my parents started posting, I mean, my mom, my dad, was always involved, always supported, but he was like, I don't really know how to post this dance stuff. Right. But my mom started posting like my dance videos to an Instagram account when like Instagram first started. But obviously I was young, so like I didn't really have any part in it. She would kind of like post it just for the world to see, and they started to pull a lot of views. And yeah, definitely like I'm a Beast videos started that for me, as well as Matt Stefanina videos. I'll never forget, it was like a Rihanna work video.
Yes, I remember that.
And she had like reposted it on Twitter, and that got an insane amount of millions of views. And that's where people started to recognize me as like that little girl. I had bangs at the time. I'm sure you remember. I was like the little girl with bangs. So that's what like really started social media for me.
Yeah. And what was that like, just like getting all of that attention like on social media from such a young age? Because I feel like everyone kind of has a different experience with it, like whether it be good or bad. But like, what was it like for you?
I think it was, I would say like at the time, I thought it was awesome.
Yeah,
like I thought it was
the
coolest thing ever. I was definitely that kid that loved the spotlight.
Yeah.
But of course, as you get older, there are some like pros and cons of it, you know?
For sure.
It got to the point where I was in school at the time, and that wasn't a normal thing, you know, to be a kid in school and have the whole world watching you now online, not only dancing, but like everything you do.
Everything you do, yeah.
I think that was almost a shift for me in like my life, because kids in school did start to notice, like, you know, they'd be like, oh, you're that dancer girl, or you're not normal, or I was the kid to every other kid that just got to miss school, but like I was working as like
no one
a
understood
kid.
that.
No one understood that part of like, okay, yeah, maybe it was cool to you that like, and it was cool that I got to miss school in a way, but I still had to do school away from school on top of like working and performing. So now being older and like kind of reflecting on the fact that like I was a working kid is like I don't find that bad whatsoever, because it's gotten me to where I am today.
Exactly.
I wouldn't, have any of that without the support of my family as well. So it's like having that support to be able to do that. And my mom always supporting me, my dad always supporting me, and making sure I was still a kid that got to do kid things and so get my schoolwork done. It's so important. And I think people think just because we had that life, we had to like miss out on like school. And it's like, no, we didn't. We did just extra work than everyone else.
Exactly. And I think both like your parents and my parents, they're very like, they share similar values in that. And
definitely.
so we were the kids that were in school, but like we would get off school, we'd go straight to dance class or work on a project and not come home till almost past midnight, do homework, get up,
and go to school
the next day and do it all over again, you know? And like that, like I really felt like that kind of like really did make us who we are today, and just kind of even understand, like, have a sense of like what work ethic is supposed to be like,
100%.
and if you want to like achieve and like have all these goals in life, you know. So I'm like really grateful that we had like parents that like,
same.
You know, I don't think people know that. They probably thought like opposite, like, oh, these kids don't go to school, or they're just
their
like
parents
pretending
don't
to be
care.
homeschool. Yeah, their parents don't care.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, it's like if we came home with like bad grades, like on our report
it was
card,
still a problem.
It was a
like,
problem.
Don't get me wrong. Like, school always still came first to my parents, and my mom actually was a high school teacher back home in Canada. So, you know, so was my grandmother, so was my aunt. So my family really helped me. And if it was like I needed that extra support with school, I would get a tutor or have a family member help. So like that never got pushed to the side, and I am grateful for that, because then I would have felt like I missed out on school like every other kid. And I don't feel that way. Yes, I was homeschooled. I got to do everything a kid in school did, and I did all the schoolwork. I literally just like to say I didn't walk through the halls with everyone else.
That's basically it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. I want to talk more about the dance industry. So obviously, like when we started, it was so different than what it is like now. So how have you seen like this dance industry kind of evolve, like from where we first started to where it is now?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. I would say, I guess I'm not as involved these days to see it enough, but what I can see is social media has really changed it a lot.
For sure.
And of course, there's always going to be pros and cons to it, but I feel like back then it was more, like I said, there was just like a family and a community to it.
Yes.
So it's like, even though there was social media and even though it was a competitive world, we all had each other to lean on.
Yeah.
And it really did. We had such like an amazing community of dancers. And I think so much has happened in the dance world where people let the competition aspect kind of take over.
Oh, for sure.
And the almost like the want and need of something so badly that they've all lost sight of like why we really do it.
Yeah.
And I feel like nowadays watching people dance, it's like they're doing it either just to be in the video or to get the job. And it's sad for me to almost see, because it's like, and I feel like that's kind of what set me apart in a way. It got to the point where it was like, okay, well, now I feel like I'm doing it as a job.
Yeah.
And I always told my parents, if it ever got to that point, I want to find something else.
Yeah.
Because I did it because I loved it. I had a passion for it.
Yeah.
Not because I wanted to be looked at as, oh, let's just use the girl in the video.
Right.
Oh, this girl's going to book it just for that reason. Or the minute it felt like a competition between me and a friend, that's where I feel like the shift happened. And I don't know, I feel like dancers started to become hungry for the wrong reasons. Yes.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And we were no longer hungry, or I don't want to say we, but a lot of people, and the dance community is so tight to where if half of this community switches, it changes everything. It really does, because we were all doing it for the right reasons, and then when some people started to not, it changed. It changed a lot of things.
It's definitely, it feels like a whole like culture shift.
It is.
In like the studios now, and just in the overall like dance industry itself. Like I remember too, like I recently went to go take some classes because like I missed it so much. And when I walked into the class, I could just feel this whole different environment of what I was not used to in the past for 10, 12 years that we did
100%.
Back at Millennium or whatever studio. And it's so crazy. It's just like social media has really had a huge impact on that. And it's like I see everyone just going to the front or going to a corner, setting up their phones
For the video.
to record themselves for the videos. And I'm just like, over here, I'm like, well, we haven't even like learned the routine yet. I'm like
we're just starting
what
the
is
class.
happening right now? Like I was so thrown off by it as well. It's like, yes, I am involved in social media, but it's like this felt so different. And it kind of broke my heart too, like you said, because it's just like dance was one of those things, like we go to the studio, we go to these amazing choreographers to just learn dance, have fun, and like be around our friends. I walk into the studio, I don't know a single person anymore.
No, literally, that's exactly. I went in literally to take like a heels class. I didn't tell anyone.
Yeah.
I didn't post about it because, I have those moments where I'm like, I really miss it. I miss being in the dance studio. But I did go in and same thing. I was like this, like it was breaking my heart just being in there, the energy feeling different. And then almost towards the end of the class of it just being like, okay, let's get this video done.
Yes.
And it was just like, oh, because at one point, yes, of course the video is important. Of course social media is important. And it's definitely made a lot of things better. It's given more opportunities for people to be seen. However, I think people genuinely need to remember that there's a passion behind it and that dance is an art. Yeah. And that we all, to be able to do this is a talent. And it's not necessarily like who has more followers. Yeah. It's about the talent and who's willing to train and work hard. And it did get to the point where it was like I felt like I was going to walk in a class and only be pulled out because of the following, or if I post the video, if I tag the place or the choreographer, and that got sad because it was like, what if I'm just having a bad day and I'm not even really killing it? What about that girl over there who's working her butt off and she's killing it? Like she should be front and center. And I think that was a big shift in the dance world, and that's what made a lot of people lose sight of what it really was. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's really crazy and really heartbreaking, I think, more than anything, because it's just like that was just your place for like a escapism from like reality, to just go lock in for an hour and a half and just have a good time, break a nice sweat, and just like you come out and you're like, wow, I feel amazing. Right. You know, like after coming out from the class. There's cameras everywhere. There's cameras everywhere. I could literally look in every corner and there's another camera. And I'm like, what if I just like don't feel great today? What if I don't want to be on camera? Also, like, I don't think I ever wore makeup to a class. Right. And now you go in. I would also just be in like hideous like whatever sweatpants, outfit, like whatever, you know. Same. And now you show up and everyone is looking like they're about to take an Instagram photo, and I'm just like, holy! I'm like, what am I looking like over here? I'm like embarrassed. Wait, what was I doing wrong? I don't even know. Exactly. No, you're so right about that, and that's now what it is about, is the image. The image, and it's starting to seem like, and I haven't been to one in a while, but it seems like auditions are just like the class. Right. And there's also cameras all over the audition. And that's where I say nowadays, being at this age, that would make me a lot more nervous. Because 100%. Now I'm worried about everything else other than just the routine and being a performer. For sure. Yeah, no, it's just so crazy. I mean, do you think it's like easier or harder now for dancers to kind of like break through in the industry? It has to be harder. Yeah. It has to be harder because not only that, but I think now everyone just kind of jumped into it. Yeah. Not in a bad way whatsoever, but I think a lot of people don't do the dance just because they have a love for it. They do it because the video could go viral. Right. And I feel like that's part of the reason a lot has changed. Yeah. You know? It's like, I hate to say it, but it feels like almost everyone can dance now. Yeah. Which is totally fine, but like it's different when you can tell that the love and passion for it is missing. For sure. You can definitely see that, and it's like it doesn't go unnoticed. It doesn't. You know? And that's what really distincts like the true dancers and just people who say I'm a dancer. Yeah. You know what 100%. I mean? 100%. Yeah. So auditions, we were kind of talking about that a little bit, and like the environment can be so intense. What was your experiences like just walking into dance auditions like over the years? I would say, what was my experience like? There was definitely a long waiting game. I feel like a lot of auditions, people have no idea that there's a long process to them. Yeah. Like you could be in that one room, that one dance studio from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. at night. And it did not matter how old you were.
Yep.
You were there all day. I would have to be doing school on the side of the audition, which was always a good thing. You know, you're possibly making it to the end. But the waiting game and learning patience at such a young age was probably a crazy experience. Yeah. But something I really took away in like the real world is like, and not only that, but you can get so many yeses and get a no, and that's okay. Yeah. And you're also going to get a lot of no's before you get a yes, and that's also okay. Yeah. And being so young and having to understand that, you don't at first because you're a kid. Yeah. And every little no makes you just want to crawl into a ball and start crying. Yeah. And you don't feel good enough at the time. But I think I just had to stop comparing myself, which was hard. Being a kid, that's hard. Yeah. To not compare yourself to others. But I had to just be like, remind myself all the time, like, this is a talent you have. That talent isn't going away. They're going to pick and not pick you for different reasons every time. Yeah. And once you realize, once I've now stepped away from the dance world specifically, that's in real life. That's whether you're going for a job, that's whether you're in school, that's whether you're in the entertainment industry or any industry for whatever reason. Yeah. You go through the same problems. Yeah. It just feels different when you're young, having experienced like almost adult life in a sense.
For sure. Did you ever feel like some sort of like pressure, maybe from like outside noise or from other people, like during these audition processes?
Yeah, definitely. All the time, because especially once your name is pretty well known, and especially as when you're known as, you know, one of the ones that like almost never mess up. Right. You almost feel like it is the end of the world if you mess up. Oh, for sure. And I think that is where a lot of pressure came in, is a lot of eyes being on you, whether that's social media. Because now it was no longer, once social media came in, it was like not only the people in dance, but like everyone else was critiquing me. And I was like, wait, now I have the whole world, right? Yeah. So that the social media became a lot of pressure because, like I said, once the cameras came in, it was like I couldn't even just be focused on the dance. It was like a big camera right in front of my face while I'm trying to do the dance, while I'm trying to remember the choreography, remember to perform, like every little thing. Yeah, you have to remember. And it's all like live, like, and you get like one, even if it's not live, you basically get one chance at it. There's no like, not the whole class isn't gonna wait for you to perfect it or do it over and over. You just have one shot and you have to kill it. Yeah. So yeah, it is a lot of pressure. It was a lot of pressure for sure.
Yeah. Do you remember like the craziest like audition that you had?
Ooh, I would say, oh my gosh, what would have been the craziest? There were so many. Oh my gosh. I remember, I don't know if you remember these, but it was for the Lithgow Productions. It was like a live musical theater. They did like Snow White, and then they did one Aladdin.
Oh, yes.
So like,
they have that outdoor plaza, right?
In an outdoor mall. I had done that one a few times, and that process was one of those that was an all-day process, and there were a lot of kids. A lot. Kids. And that's just what I specifically remember, because we had to dance, sing, do like all these other do all these other things, and those moments were just like, whoa, because in order for every kid to do all of those, it took a lot of time and a lot of waiting. And then there were cuts that were a part of this audition too. And the cuts are so scary. The worst part. Because like, and then you see other kids going away crying, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be the kid walking away crying next. Like, who knows?
Or it's like friends getting cut, and you're just like, oh my gosh. Like,
and then it was one of those where like some were getting cut for a dance reason, others were getting cut for a singing reason. So it was like, you really didn't know. Yeah. Even if you were so good at something, whether you were staying or going. So I remember those very vividly. I ended up booking one and doing the Aladdin, which that was a beautiful, like, although the audition process was pressure, that was a beautiful experience and a great like production and cast and crew to even just be a part of.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know. We have to give a shout out to all the dance moms and dads out there because they would wait for hours with us, like go bring us food and just sit there like on their phone or just talk to each other and like hang out, you know, and like they were a big part of like our dance careers and like 100%. Where we are, because like without them, like we would have not been able to do
I give it all to our parents.
100%.
Because I think about now that I'm like an adult and you know, we're in our 20s now. You get to that age where you do start thinking about kids and how you're going to be as a parent. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, if I had to go through that, like, don't get me wrong, I want to be as amazing as a parent as mine were for me.
And you will be.
And I will be. Thank you. But that's a lot.
It is.
That is a lot. So I have to give it up to our parents. And like you said, we would be nowhere near where we are now if it wasn't for them putting in that time, effort.
The sacrifices.
They made. Exactly. Yeah.
It's so crazy. But that time in our life was just really something else. But it was very nostalgic and like
it was
the best way possible.
100%. You know? And I feel like the world has seen dance moms. Yeah. Like in a dance competition way, but they never saw like the dance parents or like the struggles. Like it wasn't always like parents screaming at each other. No. It was like them just having to be there all day. Yeah. Even be with each other. Like our parents like all became really good friends.
Yes, 100%.
Like people think of dance parents like dance moms, and it is not like that.
It's not like that.
They had friendships. We would literally do things all the time together because we were always together. Whether that was for dance or not, we always had to be together. Yeah. And it's like so cool to know, like hearing now that our parents are like still friends. They still talk to each other. Yeah. And we've all like gone in different directions, and they also have other kids that they're like we have siblings that our parents are now catering to and living different worlds with them.
Seriously,
is so insane. So I'm like, if anything, they need a show on like the parents of like
100%.
Our parents.
Someone needs to like look into that and get that done because it would be insane. Like I don't think people understand that all of that. It's a lot, and it's just like, you know, they need their flowers too for what they did, because it's a tough industry, and they have just having to watch us like go through audition processes. You know, if we didn't, you know, make it or whatever, we got cut that day or whatever.
That was
you know?
Probably even harder on them.
You know, as much as it was on us, but like for them to like be so supportive and like uplift us to like keep going to the next auditions. Like, you know, I'm always so thankful. My dad would always just be like that in my corner, you know, always just like, it's okay, Celine. The next one is coming. Don't give up.
And
you
still
have
take
it. Don't
you to
worry.
the next
and
one.
Still take you to the next
yeah.
one, you know? And I think that's so beautiful that we were so fortunate enough to have such amazing parents, you know, who supported our dreams.
Definitely.
What advice would you give for dancers walking into their first audition today?
Oh my gosh. I would say don't overthink, please. Because nothing is gonna eat you alive more than your own thoughts. And I say that to myself. I should take my own advice, but I say that to myself all the time these days, is because I always felt, especially as a dancer, that I had to be so in control of everything that you almost have to like let go of that thought and just let the music, let everything just take everything away. Because realistically, when you're overthinking it so much, and I'm sure you know this as a dancer, the more you overthink it, that is realistically when you mess something up.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're thinking about it so hard that you can't even enjoy it and just perform and give your talent. So if anything, like your own thoughts are in your own way of like just doing your best.
Yeah. That's really great advice. I love that. I think the overthinking is like really, that's like a common thing for sure that a lot of people struggle with. And you just can't, you have to go in with it like an open mind and just, you know,
100%.
whatever outcome it is, like don't let that basically define you, you know, as 100%. Like, okay, you know, I don't suck. No, you don't suck. Like the next project, your next thing is waiting out there for you. 100%. So just keep practicing, keep your head down and keep going to work and it'll come.
Right. And I feel like not only overthinking, but another thing is comparing yourself to others. Because of course, when you look at another person and they're booking all the jobs and they're doing amazing, you think like, oh, they're perfect. Like they never mess up. No, that person had to mess up a lot of times to get to where they are. So like along the way, it wasn't always perfect. You just didn't see those parts of their lives because obviously we all live different lives. So it's like, go through those struggles, learn from them. And that's the only way you'll grow as not only a dancer, but a person. And people forget you're both. No matter what, a dancer is a human. So you're also going through your human and personal problems and struggles in life. Yeah. And it's like, once you walk into the dance studio, let the rest of it stay out there. Go in there, dance, perform, and when you walk out that door again, you can go back to those. But when you're comparing yourself to others and you're in your thoughts, you're really just like self-sabotaging. And that's one thing that I would have told my old self. So I would want to give that advice to other people, especially new dancers and people that just want to try out this dance world thing.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. I think that's awesome. We're going to talk a little bit about your content creating. You've built a serious social media presence, everything on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. So kind of like, how did you start like posting regularly? At what point did you see this as like a big career and like not just something for fun?
Yeah, of course. So like I said, my parents were like posting my dance videos, and as I got older and, you know, I was like 15 at this point and I wanted to take over my socials. I started to just like not only like posting my dance stuff, but like posting everything else, like my outfits that I was wearing. And then of course I got to the age where I was into makeup. And I always watched like beauty videos, like the YouTube vids, like Bethany Moda days. I always watch those videos myself. And like I was always that kid. Like I have those videos of like fake making a YouTube video, like, hey guys, like this is me doing my makeup. So I always knew that like even if I didn't get to that point, I want to be able to share everything with my followers. And I think it was so special to a lot of people saw me literally grow up online. And a lot of people have been there. Like shout out to my supporters who have literally been there throughout this whole journey. And it's so special to know that like people actually care to see everything that's going on in your life. So I just started posting everything I love. And I think my content really just became lifestyle. Even being able to travel with dance, being able to be in other countries and having even followers from other countries really just made me want to start creating content in like everything I do. Yeah, for sure. I mean, and with that too, obviously there's so many challenges with like social media, with like trends and algorithms and all that stuff. So how do you really like deal with that and like go about it? I think it's so crazy to say, but I'm probably one of those people that like I never know a trend going on. Like it probably sounds crazy because I'm so involved in it, but I don't think I pay enough to the like attention to the trends. Also, I think because I've been in the social media game for so long to where like you can work so hard on one video. So hard. And it like flops. But then you post a video that was just like, okay, this video took me 2 seconds. I didn't put any time into it and it gets millions of views. So it's like I started to learn to just like not only follow the trends, but like you can be a trendsetter yourself by just posting whatever it is you want to post. And then it does well and other people want to post it too. So I'm unfortunately not one of those that will know much about trends. But I think just like really knowing what I want, like whether that comes to brands, companies, which direction I want to go, what job I want to do. It really led me to knowing exactly what I want to post. And just knowing that it's important to keep like your image and everything for like a 360 all around, like being brand friendly is so important to me. And being able to work with like the makeup brands I want to work with, going to the premieres I want to go to. And of course, as I got older and jumped into acting, I knew like going to premieres and screenings was like where I wanted to be, because like that's what I wanted to see myself. So I'm only going to post things that like I would want to see or do myself, because that's real and true to me.
Yeah, and I think that's so, I love that you say that too, because I find myself too in the same thing. It's like, okay, the content that I want to be posting are things like brands that I want to be like working with or like see myself in, you know, and I think that's really important, like in social media. Do you remember your like viral, like your most viral video, or like that kind of like started everything like picking up like crazy?
Oh my gosh. What was it? It was Musically Days for sure.
Musically Days.
Musically Days were like my most poppin' videos. I did have this one video with my little brother Kai, and it was like this, like it was a dance trend, like a Musically trend. Yeah. But we did it, and I think because I was young and he was so little, and he was doing this like crazy footwork dance with me, it like popped off, got like 9 million views like right away. Gosh. It was like on KTLA, like they were posting it everywhere. With, like this little boy dancing with his sister who was like a dancer, and then at the time, like all these artists were posting like my Musicallys. Like I would just do the 15-second dance routine. Right. But obviously at the time it was like, oh my gosh, this person can dance. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's kind of like what started it off. And then Musically turned into TikTok, and I kept it going, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I love that.
Thank you.
What's something social media has brought into your life that you're extremely grateful for?
Oh, my friends, my best friends. That I would say is the number one thing. I've met, I would say pretty much all of my closest girlfriends in my life through social media and through being in this world. And it's so crazy because like I think about how these were girls that I would have been like best friends with in school, but I didn't get to go to school. So it's like meeting each other in our own, I like to say like high school world, which is this world.
For sure.
Like we go through the same problems and we deal with the same teenager issues, 20-year-old issues. But just having this really solid friend group and it not be a competition when I came from such a competitive dance world. It's refreshing, you know, and it's nice to know that I have like long-term friends from this and they more feel like a family. So I like to say that social media has given me like a family.
Yeah, I love that. I think the same thing too. I've met some of my like really close, genuine friends through the social media industry. And like maybe some of them I may have like only known for like a year or two, but it feels like I've known them my entire life. It's like, where were these people, you know, in my life? And I'm super grateful for that as well. Like the friendships you make. And also every time we go to an event, we're meeting so many new people, and it's really just nice to like connect with new friends and 100%. New girlies who like share the same interests, and you know, and lifelong besties after that. Seriously, you know? Literally. So we're going to talk a little bit more about your acting. Okay. So beyond dancing and social media, you stepped into acting. You were on Hyperlinked, The Lies I Tell Myself. Is it Gordita?
Gordita Chronicles,
yes. And so how did acting come to you? And was this something that you've always wanted to do?
Yes, 100% something I always want to do since I was a little girl. I grew up watching movies with my nonno, who's my grandfather, my mom's dad, and I've always been so intrigued with movies, and coming from Canada and moving to LA and being in Hollywood and seeing just really like how movies are made, I always knew that I wanted to be a part of that in some sort of way. And of course, being a little girl that just loved being in the spotlight, loved being in front of the camera. Like I knew at a young age that I wanted to act. And luckily, like being a dancer and having agents and being in the entertainment industry, that opened a lot of doors for me. And I got to do like some little jobs when I was a dancer, like even just commercials. I would have a lot of dance gigs that were with scripts. And once I got a hold of like my first script ever, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is so cool. I want to sit here. I want to play different roles. And acting is such a special way, and it's another form of art, just like dance, to like express yourself. And I feel like I always mention, being a kid that didn't go to school, this is my way of expressing myself, is like through the put the performing arts, you know, and everything in one, being a dancer, an actress, a musician. So when I was 10, I was in a girl group called L2M.
Yes.
And that is what got me the role of Hyperlinked. And that was my first time being on like a full like acting set, because I had done little things, but I was like, okay, wow, I love this. I love reading a script. I love playing a character. Yeah. And then I got older. I started taking acting classes. And when I turned 18 and COVID hit, that was kind of a moment. I was already in college, and it was like, okay, after COVID, do I go in person and go to school and find something I want to do school related? Yeah. Or do I just want to focus on acting? So I made the decision, and I told my parents, I want to do acting right now in college. Yeah. And I also want to take the time to go to acting class. Yeah. So I did. And then at 18 years old, I booked Gordita Chronicles, and that was my first like big gig, like just straight acting, had nothing to do with anything else. Yeah. And that was so special to be able to like play that character who I loved so much. And I got to like I wasn't myself for a bit. Like I literally just played that role for like a few months. Role, Exactly. Lived in Puerto Rico, which was so insane.
So crazy.
And yeah, from there, I knew that's really what I want to do. Yeah. But like acting is, if dance world was tough, acting,
it's a whole nother
you still
thing.
Have to have, you know, you still have to have that toughness a part of you.
Yeah,
But at least I carry that from being a dancer.
Exactly. You already had that like instilled in you, so you were just ready for that next chapter. Right. Yeah. How was that like audition process for the Chronicles? Like, what was that like? How did you get booked? Everything. Talk me a little bit through that.
So crazy. I was actually in Puerto Rico for the first time ever on my 18th birthday, visiting with some friends of mine and my parents. And I'll never forget, my parents and I were walking down the street right on like Condado Beach, and we were looking around at the buildings, and I was like, how cool would it be if I filmed something out here and I lived in like one of these apartments? Yeah. And my parents were like, yeah, I mean, you could do it. Yeah. And I was like, sure, yeah. But I also like never got auditions that filmed in Puerto Rico. So in my head, I was just kind of like, I mean, sure. We're literally on the plane home. My mom gets an audition through her email that was like from my agents, because we like shared emails at that time. And my mom looks at me and she goes, you just got an audition for a film that films in Puerto Rico. Wow. And I was like, what? Like, since when? Like, that never, it was almost like, you know, we spoke that into existence. Yeah. So then I was like, okay, I read the role. I was like, ooh, I really like this character. I really like this storyline. I love everything about it. Yeah. Got home, did the audition. About a week later, I got a call back, did like a Zoom callback. Yeah. And then a week later, I had booked it and got flown back out to Puerto Rico, and I was walking down that same street.
Oh my God.
Looking at the same apartments, everything, and just thinking like, wow, I did that. And it was like
you really
literally literally manifestation. That is the word. Yeah. And I did that within like, that was like a 2-week span. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's so amazing. That's like such like a real like full circle moment too, 100%. Right there, you know? And it's just like, it is really crazy. Like sometimes the things you talk about could really become your reality, you know?
Manifestation is so real.
It's so real. And that took me a long time to kind of really believe in that until I started seeing things happen, and I was just like, oh, yeah. I'm like, okay, maybe I need to do this more often, you know? So that's crazy. Alrighty, we're gonna like wrap it up with some rapid fire questions I'm gonna ask you, so you can just answer the first thing that comes to mind. Okay. So the first question is, if you could go back and specialize in a certain dance genre, what would it be?
Ooh, I would have specialized more in ballet.
Ballet, really?
Yeah, I feel like that was genuinely, and I say that because it was probably my like weakest genre. So like when I watch like ballet movies, I'm like, ooh, I could have really like, you know, I would have been good if I focused more on it, but it just wasn't my thing. Yeah. So that, or I had a love for tap.
Okay. I love that. That's really interesting. What is your dream collaboration for a brand that you would like to work with?
Ooh, dream brand. That's a great question. I would say Prada.
Yes. Oh my God.
I have always dreamt of working with Prada. And I actually named my puppy Prada. Literally after
oh my God.
the brand Prada. So that would just be iconic. Or I'm really into Skims lately.
Yes.
Skims and Lululemon. So those are also two like dream
great
brands.
answers. Yeah.
And mainly I say that because not just because of like what the brands are and because they're like trendy, but because I buy their stuff. I genuinely
You're like a genuine
wearing
shopper.
it. Right.
Yeah.
Like I'm not actually just posting it just to be like, hey, go check this out. Like no, like check it out because I put all my money into it.
I love that. No, that's a great answer. If you could go back and dance for any artist, who would it be?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Artist that I would have danced for. I love Kehlani.
Oh, me too.
I mean, that would be a dream because, like I said, that's another situation where, like, I just love and listen to her music.
Yes.
So if I could have, like, I already dance, like, on my own to her music. So it's, like, to perform with her would have been special. Or, like, Chris Brown. I love his music. Seeing how incredible that tour and show is like, that would have been super cool.
Did you go to Breezy Bowl at all?
I didn't this year.
Dude, I wish. No, I've seen Chris Brown twice, but this like thing was so special because of like all his eras of music from start to like now. And he's just
I literally just
performer.
missed the show. I had something else that weekend, but I've also seen him perform at like festivals.
Yeah.
And he's such a good performer.
He really
and I
is.
love like the musicians that perform and dance with their dancers.
Oh, 100%.
That makes it more special than you just feeling like you're just a dancer up there.
Right.
You know, it feels like you're dancing with them and not backup dancing for them.
Exactly. It's like a whole separate like performance aspect that's like really captivating to like audience.
100%.
Yeah. What's like more gratifying, a live performance or like a successful like video post?
A live performance.
Yeah.
100%.
I can agree with that one for sure too. And last one, if you could do any other job besides social media, dancing or acting, what would it be?
Ooh, I would have been in the FBI.
FBI.
Yes. I actually had a moment when I was like 17 where I was literally going to drop everything and just go study criminology.
No way.
I had always been into it. But at the same time, I was always so into Criminal Minds. So then when I turned favorite show like ever, like seen every episode. So then when I turned 18 and I had to figure out what it is I wanted to do, I was like, okay, well, I could either go study criminology or I could just play a role in the FBI.
Right,
and I
kind of
was like,
fulfill that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go with the acting. so I guess I can tie that in, but I definitely would have done something in that field.
Yeah, that's so crazy you say that because I think I had the same exact like little moment in my life too. I was so invested into like all of those shows like Law and Order and like Chicago PD and like all these shows, and I'm just like, wow, I can do this.
You think I could do this, but then you're like, oh, everything that comes with it, you're like, maybe we'll leave it to them.
Yeah, I'm like,
I'll just do the acting part. We'll leave that to them.
100%. Oh my God, that's so crazy that you say that. Oh my gosh. But Tati, thank you so much for coming on. This has been so much fun, and I'm so great that we had to have you on and just kind of talk through like everything. Make sure you guys go ahead and follow Tatiana on all of her social media platforms to keep up with everything she's doing from travel to work, acting, whatever it may be. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to give it a like, comment, share your favorite moment, and we'll see you guys till next time. This has been Said What I Said with Celine. Bye.
The mic is hot, the takes are real, talent is here. Welcome to Said What I Said. From Hollywood to your headphones, she's bold, she's raw, she's talent. And this is Said What I Said.
Said what I said with Tallinn.